Hey everyone, and welcome to the Crazy Sock Lady podcast channel. My name is Kay, and this is episode 65. Today is Thursday, March 28th. We are coming up on the end of March. That just seems totally crazy to me. And it's been a couple of weeks since I recorded. I didn't get a chance to record last week, so I've got a couple of finished objects to share with you guys today, as well as a few works in progress. So let's go ahead and jump right in. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crazy Sock Lady, and we do have a group for this podcast on Ravelry. If you head over on Ravelry at the very top, go to the groups tab and search Crazy Sock Lady Podcast, you're gonna find it right there. If you don't feel like searching for any of those places yourself, just look right down here, down below. There's going to be links to everywhere that you can find me, as well as show notes for this episode, links to project pages, shops that I talk about, all of that good stuff. You're going to find it right down below. So we just have a few Ravelry announcements and reminders at the top of the episode today. First up, I want to remind you guys that the third annual Selfish Cal ends on March 31st. So we are just a few days away from that knit along ending. This was for anything that you knit or crocheted for yourself. So head over, you still have a chance to enter if you've finished some items that are for yourself that meet all the guidelines, which are in the chatter thread. There'll be a link down below to that. Then feel free to go ahead and enter those finished objects. If you've been working on something, you've got a couple of days left to get it done. March 31st will be the last day that you can post your items in that finished objects thread. And then probably the next time I record an episode, I'll record a separate little video announcing all of the prize winners for the knit along. Then we also have one Swapless Swap open right now, and I wanted to show you guys the one that I recently received. This was with Melissa of Honeybee Knits. Look how pretty those are. And if you're new and you have not heard of the Swapless Swaps, there's one hosted every month in the Crazy Sock Lady podcast Ravelry group. It is a different yarn dyer every month, and Rosalie is so sweet and kind, and she puts these on for us and does all of the work for them, basically. She gets all these minis ready and packaged and ships them out to you guys. And they come in a bag like this with the yarn dyer's information. All of the colorway names are listed. And the one that we have open right now, the yarn dyer is Rosalie herself. She actually dyes yarn as well. So she has her business up this month, Yarn Matrix. And let me tell you, I'm so excited to get to try out Rosalie's yarn with this Swapless Swap. So we actually have 52 spots available. What you receive, like I said, you get a bag with the minis. There are 10 40-yard minis. And the price is $35 to $45 depending on the location that they are shipping to. So if you're interested, I will put the direct link down below. That'll take you right to the thread. There's going to be all of the information about what you get, how you pay. Everything will be right over there. So now let's talk about those finished objects that I have. Both are socks. I'm sure you're just totally shocked by that. And the first one, these are my March Desert Vista Dye Works socks. So if you've been following along, you know that I am doing Susan of Desert Vista Dye Works year-long knit along, and these are my March socks. And the colorway is Somebody is Off to See the Wizard. And let's see. I knit these on US 1 2.25 millimeter needles, 64 stitches. I did an afterthought heel using the Kirby Wirby tutorial on YouTube. That's how I learned to do my afterthought heels, so I'll be sure to post a link to that below. Yeah, so these are both done. I already have April's Desert Vista Dye Works yarn picked out, so you'll see that upcoming soon. I can't start them until April 1st, but I have it ready to get caked up. And I love the Somebody colorways with the speckled stripes. I just think it's so much fun. To me, it's amazing how she can get that dyed up that way. My brain can't comprehend how that works, but it's amazing. So that's finished object number one. I'm so excited to have those done before the end of the month and not be just trying to crank them out really quick at the end. And then my next finished object is another pair of socks for Mr. Wyatt. I don't even know if you guys have seen these on the podcast as a work in progress. I know I posted about them on Instagram, but I I don't know if I've shown you guys these. So yeah, I finished this pair of socks for Mr. Wyatt. And this is yarn that I picked up at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival when I went to Rhinebeck last year. And I got it because when I was in the booth, it kind of looked like it was a little bit more of a red. And it is kind of a reddish, pinkish. I see more pink, Wyatt sees red and pink. But I got it because he wanted Spider-Man. So I thought that this would be fairly close to Spider-Man socks. He wanted red and black or red and blue for Spider-Man. So I got it thinking that, but then when I got it home, it looked more pink, but this is what he picked out. He said, I see red and I see pink, and pink is cool. So here we go. He now has another pair of socks, and I've been holding them hostage until I recorded, so he will be excited to be able to wear them to school tomorrow. For Wyatt's socks, I use a US 1 2.25 millimeter needles, and I use 56 stitch cast on. That's just what works for him. I have quite a few people ask about kids' socks. What should you do for like an 8 or 9-year-old? And I say you just kind of have to try it and see what fits the best. 56 stitches just works for his circumference. That's just what gives him the best fit right now. And obviously that will change as he grows. But I do 56 stitches. He likes short socks, so I typically do about 15 or 20 rounds for the cuff and then about 15 or 20 rounds for the leg. I just kind of eyeball it and see what works. And then I always do a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset for Wyatt. He has feet like me, and that's just the best fitting heel that I found for the both of us. And then just a rounded toe. So another pair of socks done for Mr. Wyatt. And he already has a couple of skeins picked out for his next few pairs. So I need to get on the ball and make him more, especially because last night he started a fencing class, and in the middle of fencing class when they had their break and got to come get a drink of water, he's like, my shoes are really rubbing the back of my foot. And so I looked at the back of his, his shoe where his heel is, and I was like, are those socks too small for you? And it was a pair of hand knit socks that I had knit him probably at least a year ago, and he had still been cramming his foot in there and pulling them on, but they were not even coming up to the back of his shoe. So I said, well, I think it's time we retire those. I just need to get on the ball and make him some more so that we can build his sock drawer back up, because I just did some of his laundry and washed his socks this morning and noticed that quite a few are looking like they've got to be too small for him, but he's still wearing them. Mom needs to get on the ball here and knit him some more socks. All right, so that is my 2 finished objects for this week. Socks, both of them. And now I have 2 works in progress, both socks. This is, obviously, Crazy Sock Lady Podcast. This is the sock show. So the first one is actually a new design, and I have this in a bag from Daisy Girl & Company. It is one of her bags with the see-through on the front. I have 2 of her bags like this, and I love them both so much. So in here, I have a new sock design. I'm not going to show it just yet, but it will be coming out probably fairly soon. The reason I want to go ahead and show you this today, since I can't show you the design just yet, I want to show you the yarn because I am in love with this colorway. So this yarn is by, I think I have a tag in here. Yes, I do. This is by Laura from Stellar Needlecraft. And she had sent me some yarn a while back, and it was for giveaways, to keep, design, that type of package. And I knew this had to be a design. I was in love with this collar. So this is a Forest Nebula. Look how pretty that is. I love the blues and the greens in this. It is so gorgeous. Here it is in the cake. So I'm having a lot of fun with this one, and I'm really excited about this sock design. It's one that I've actually had written up in one of my little notebooks for quite a while. It's a super simple, only uses knits and purls, and I actually came up with it, the idea for it, after I knit my dad the first pair of socks that I knit him. I've only knit him one, so the only pair of socks that I've knit him, and he said that he was enjoying wearing them. So I was like, you know what, it would be fun to do a sock pattern for my dad and knit him socks. So he sometimes watches, so if you're watching, Dad, these are probably going to be for you, but you haven't seen the design yet, so that's okay. But yeah, so I kind of came up with it with my dad in mind, kind of socks for dad. Maybe that'll be the pattern name, socks for my dad. So yeah, this will be upcoming very soon, probably within the next couple of weeks, so keep an eye out for that. And my next work in progress is a pair of vanilla socks that I have in a bag by Erica of the Scrappy Thread. One of my favorite drawstring bags. You can see I need to cut that little string off. I use this bag so much. It's in heavy rotation. So the yarn that I'm using for this pair of vanilla socks is by Fiber for the People. And this is actually a kit that I bought. It's a full skein and a mini, and I've had this since we lived in North Carolina, and I think it's been caked up since we lived in North Carolina, ready to cast on. I just never got around to it. So when I was looking for yarn for my next pair of vanilla socks, I was like, why do I keep getting skeins out and caking up new skeins? I have a whole cubby back here of yarn caked up or balled up that I've gotten ready for socks, and then for whatever reason, some I've cast on and then ended up ripping out for some reason. I just wasn't happy with how it was working up. So I'm like, why am I not using the yarn that's in this cubby? So that's my goal right now. Anything other than Wyatt socks or Desert Vista Dye Works socks that I cast on for a vanilla sock will be out of that cubby until I've worked through all the yarn I have caked up. That just seems like a good goal right now. So this is the full skein, and this is a hyper color shirt. It's very, very bright. It's gonna get blown out. It is super, super bright green. Whoa, that got dark. And then the mini is a purple. It's eggplant. So there's the two together. And I'm past the heel flap on the first sock. So Wyatt had Austin had a basketball tournament over the weekend. So we had games Saturday and Sunday, so I had a good bit of knitting time where I could work on a vanilla sock. And I've got, it is the purple for the heel flap and the heel turn. And that's how I'm going to do both socks. I don't know. I don't know if there's I was gonna say there might be enough for toes, but I don't know. So I think I'm just gonna do the heel flap and the heel turn in the contrasting purple. But I really love this colorway. It's a lot of fun. I don't normally go for these super bright colors, but I think it was the eggplant that drew me to this. And I love purple and green together. This is a very neon green, but I still love purple and green together. So this sock I did, it's US 1 2.25 millimeter needle, and I have it on ChowGoo. The sock that I just showed you guys was on same size needle, Hiya Sharps, and it's poked a hole. The Hayas have poked a hole in my finger. I need to just get rid of my Hiya Sharps in US 1 because I cannot do socks on Hiya Sharps. I always end up with a hole in my finger. And I don't do that with any other needle but those. They're just so dang sharp. So yes, that's what needles those were on. These are on ChowGoo. I'm still on my Magic Loop kick for sock knitting right now. And 64 stitches, that's my go-to for socks for me. And I've got my progress keepers marking every 10 rows just so that it makes it easy to count the rows so that I can make the second sock to match. I normally do 20 rows for the cuff, 70 rows for the leg, and then just the foot until I have a sock ruler that I use that I slide into the sock to measure the foot length. I don't have it in here with me though, it's in the living room. But yes, that's my vanilla sock that I usually do. So we'll see when this gets done. Right now this is just car knitting, basketball knitting, fencing knitting. I worked on it, Wyatt's fencing practice last night. So that'll be done when it gets done. We have basketball games this weekend, basketball practice tonight. So I would imagine I will probably have the first sock done by the end of this weekend at the latest. All right, now I have a couple of things to show you that I received in the mail. So I got a package from Nanette at A Busy Life. She has a shop on Etsy and she does yarn and bags. And she asked if she could send a package over with some goodies for the podcast. So I wanted to show you what I received. First, let me show you her business card. A Busy Life. And she sent over quite a few things of yarn. So the first one, this is an 80% superwash merino, 20% bamboo fingering weight, 100 grams to 436 yards. And the colorway is Little Red Cabin in the Woods. Super pretty and super soft and fluffy. Then the next one is a 75-25 superwash merino and nylon, and the colorway is Summer Festival. And I really love this colorway. I think this is so fun and pretty. And this right here, oh, those colors together, I love that. So Nanette had told me that I could keep what I wanted, and I think this is going to be mine. I just love that so much. I think that would make a gorgeous pair of socks. Then there is also, this is Magical Mystery Tour. This is a 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. Very bright and vibrant colors. And then this one is another 80-20 merino bamboo blend, which this base is just so soft. It must be the bamboo. Oh, I don't think I said this colorway name. This is Cornfield. And then she also sent a bag over that she made that I am loving the size and shape of this bag and the fabric. The fabric is so bright and summery. It feels like summer. It's spring here. This is typical spring weather for here, but it feels like summer would be everywhere else. We're already in the 80s, so my mind is kind of already on summer. So I think this fabric is perfect for summer. And then on the inside, it has two of these that you could hang some stitch markers on, progress keepers, whatever you're fancy. If you were using it as a bag and a purse, you could hang your keys in there. And then it's just got one drawstring. I think that's so much fun. This is like the perfect size to go in a tote bag or a large purse with your project. So, and I love that there's the white on the inside, but then this fabric is on the bottom. I think that's super cute. So thank you so much, Nanette, for sending over these goodies. And you guys will see some of those coming up as giveaways, prizes for knit-alongs, all of that stuff. And I think that is pretty much it for today. And I wrote down a couple of things for chatter, but I've kind of already talked about a few of them. Wyatt started a fencing class last night. He had a lot of fun. He is just so adventurous in trying new things. It really surprises me because he's a pretty quiet kid, and you wouldn't think that he would be so open to trying different things, but he just finished up an art class and then decided, I want to try fencing. So he's trying fencing. So last night was the first night. It is a 6-week kind of a course, a beginner's course for fencing that he is taking. So we will see what he thinks as he progresses along within the course, and if it's something that he enjoys and wants to continue. And I didn't record last week because we had company. Eric's mom and his sister were here, and we had such a good visit. It's always so nice when they come. And we went shopping and hiking and to Topgolf. So it was fun to get to go out and do some things and have some company. And the boys always enjoy getting to have their grandma and their aunt here for a visit. So I think that's pretty much it for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I don't know that I will record an episode next week. I'm going out of town up to Flagstaff for the weekend, and we leave on Thursday. So I'm not sure that I will have a chance to record next week. But I'll see you guys the following week. That's what we will plan on for now. And of course, I'll be posting on Instagram, and I'll see y'all over there. So until I see you again on YouTube, I hope that you guys get a ton of knitting done. Happy knitting. Bye.